Hello chess lovers, I have a very dramatic game for you played by Benedikt Jonasson against Haukur Angantysson. The game was played in 1986 in Reykjavik. Jonasson had white pieces and he started with e4, c5 by Angantysson, Sicilian defense, knight f3, e6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, knight c6, knight b5, and gradually the game is transforming into a Sveshnikov variation, a6. Usually in this position white is placing the knight on a3 square, if b5 then knight d5. This is the main line, but after a6 we see bishop takes f6, g takes f6, knight a3, b5, knight d5, bishop g7, bishop d3. At some point this can prevent f5 by black, knight e7. Black is getting rid of this strong knight on d5 square. Here comes c4, both opening up this c2 square for the knight and also challenging black's pawn structure on the queen side. But black didn't pay any attention to this pawn and played f5. We see castling by both sides and queen e2. Well, if a move like c takes b5, then black has a powerful move d5. And now if e takes d5, then e4 can be very unpleasant, both attacking the bishop and also the pawn on b2 square. If bishop e2, simply bishop takes b2. This can be very unpleasant for white. That's why we see queen e2, b takes c4, knight takes c4, rook b8, and e takes f5. Well, actually playing b3 and if f4 then rook c1 would have been better, but this e takes f5 move allows black to play d5, and now black pawns are becoming very dangerous. Knight e3, rook d8, bishop takes a6. While white is busy with grabbing pawns, black pawns are marching forward. e4, rook d1, d4, knight c4, and now comes e3. This is becoming more and more dangerous. Look at these powerful pawns. F takes e3. Well, this gives black huge advantage. Actually, it was better to play first f6, and if bishop takes f6, then f takes e3. Later, the bishop will hang. If d takes e3, then rook e1 first, prevent any e2 moves. And if e2 already, white can simply capture on f6, and if e takes f1, then queen takes f1. Of course, black has a slight advantage, but this continuation would have been better for white. Instead, after e3, we see f takes e3, d takes e3, and we see the exchange of rooks on d8 square. f6, but it turns out that already it's too late. But the funny thing is that black didn't use his chance and played e2, which actually loses. Actually, black should have simply captured on f6 and then go for e2. And it turns out that actually the bishop on f6 is untouchable. If queen takes f6, then after the exchange of queens, black can play rook d1 check and then push the e-pawn. If rook e1, then this cunning rook sacrifice of course won't help white. Black is winning. Let's go back. After f6 we see e2, so black is sacrificing the queen on e7, and now white is simply capturing on e7. Bishop d4 check, and believe it or not, but in this position white resigned. In view of if king h1, then e1 queen and white king is getting checkmated. But it turns out that instead of resigning, actually this position is winning for white. Can you find a winning move for white? Ready? Well, actually white should simply play knight e3 and open up the queen's diagonal. If bishop takes e3 check, only now king h1, and already the queen can capture on f1, and this is winning. Right now the rook is hanging. If rook a8, then queen d3, both attacking the bishop, also threatening queen d8. If bishop g5, then queen b5. Forking the rook and the bishop, and if rook takes e7, white is capturing on g5 with a check, no back rank mates, and this is of course winning. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this dramatic game. Never resign without giving a tough fight. Good luck.